boring for you?
Yes.
Are you a masochist?
I guess.
Do you enjoy inflicting yourself with pain and suffering?
Sounds like me.
Then Terraria Calamity mod, the most popular mod on T-Mod Loader, packed with new weapons, new environments, and lots of bosses.
This seems pretty cool. Since I'm so good, I'm gonna finish it without life crystals. Hey guys, it's Oggy, and today I'm gonna be doing a feat no one has done.
But Soggy Oggy, my grandma did it before you.
Shut up, no one has done it. So in short, it's basically a boss no-hit run, since later in the game, most of the bosses one-shot you at 100 HP. So yeah, I just want to say a thank you to HappyDays who inspired this video. I'm sure you've all watched it anyways, but if you haven't, it's in the description if you want to watch it. He did this on normal mode, but me, I'm doing it on revengeance mode. Kind of. Literally 3 days after I finished recording, Calamity updated some biomes, so I'll have to make a new world for the next part. Before we start, I just need to go over the rules of this challenge so nobody in the comments asks stupid questions. Okay? I'll keep it short and sweet. Rule 1. No life crystals, obviously. No life fruit, no blood orange, no miracle fruit, no elderberry, no dragon fruit. Basically, no consumables that permanently increase life. I emphasize permanently because... Rule 2. Buffs, accessories, and items that increase health are allowed. So things like life force potions, cadence potions, or cadence, that one, armor sets, and rover drive are allowed as it's clearly not using life fruits.
But that's still cheap.
Shut up! My challenge, my rules. Rule 3. Cheesing bosses is allowed as long as it doesn't abuse bugs or glitches. We'll need all the help we can get. Rule 4. The difficulty is set on revengeance mode, on expert mode, to keep things interesting. However, if I really struggle with a boss and it's just taking too long, I will lower the difficulty to regular expert mode, and no less. Rule 5. The goblin army is unable to spawn or be spawned with a battle standard, so this means no goblin tinkerer for reforges or tinkerer's workshop to combine accessories. I, however, will be giving myself the tinkerer's workshop because I think the game will just become unnecessarily difficult without it, since in Calamity, most of the good accessories need to be merged in one. If you want to try this challenge and skip out on the tinkerer's workshop, feel free to. Rule 6. No commenting badly about my gameplay or commentary. We are playing on T-Mod Loader version 1.4.3.6, so no shimmer or cool sword rework. The mods I'm using are, and are also found in the description, Calamity Mod, going nowhere without it, Calamity Mod Music, for banger tunes, Calamity Mod Music's Extra, the Blizzard one is the best, Max Stack for convenience, Cheat Sheet, also for convenience, not cheating or god moding, or Excavator, remember Minecraft Vein Miner, Omni Swing, I like not having repetitive strain injury, Lights and Shadows, RTX Terraria, Boss Cursor, so I don't have to look at my map, Alchemist NPC Light, so I don't go crazy having to farm, Magic Storage, so you don't have to look at a clump of chests, and Boss Checklist. I've played the game now, so I should know the boss order, but I don't. In Calamity, the player gains a passive 20% flat damage reduction until the first boss is defeated. Interestingly enough, this buff is still active during the fight with the first boss. I want to take advantage of this by fighting a more tricky boss first, and that boss is the Eye of Cthulhu. The reason I want to fight him is to get the Shield of Cthulhu for its dashing and ramming abilities. If you perfectly time a ram attack, you can negate contact damage altogether, so it'll be very useful. The next boss I would like to fight is King Slime for the Solidifier, which I will be talking about later, and also the Slimy Saddle, which is one of the best mounts in my opinion, allowing you to reach the ground really fast to avoid damage or reset your wing flight. Next on the chopping block is the Eater of Worlds, so I can get a Nightmare Pickaxe and Worm Scarf. After that, I want to fight the Hive Mind to unlock Area Light to make some wings and a bundle of balloons for extreme mobility. After that is Skeletron to unlock the dungeon, primarily for the Shadow Keys so we can explore the Abyss. With Skeletron defeated, I look into taking down the Slime God to upgrade our Solidifier and be able to craft some of the best pre-hard mode gear in Calamity. And finally, I will take on the Wall of Flesh to get us into hard mode, concluding this episode. We begin our adventure as any Terraria playthrough does, by chopping down trees and opening our starter bag. After that, we plunge straight into the caves to dig out some treasures to get us prepared for the hardships to come. It is essential for us to gear up as much and as early as possible, because at this point, enemies only need 2 or 3 hits to kill us. Luckily, we find a mushroom biome which has plenty of ores and chests for us to grab. We even found the Mushroom Shrine, which grants us the Fungal Symbiote, a powerful melee accessory, which is a welcome upgrade this early. Oh, would you look at that, a beautiful shiny life crystal. It's so tempting to just break into and... No, we won't fail. totally not blowing myself up, it's time we headed to the surface and began building a starting base to keep all items organized and NPCs close. After crafting some starter gear, I decided to start construction on a pylon system in the jungle so that we can put the right NPCs in each biome to get their happiness up and hopefully sell us some good gear at a better price. In search of some better gear, I went to the icy depths of the tundra to find the ice blade to utilize its projectiles so we can keep our distance. With some gravitation potions in hand, we reached for the skies to find some fledgling wings, a shiny red balloon, and a star fury. I also scavenged any resources the planetoids had within them, leaving them uninhabitable just like how we are. Yay! Now that we're all powered up, it's time to take on the Eye of Cthulhu. Calling in this ocular menace, I raid down a barrage of frost bolts with the ice blade and fungal symbiote, dealing with all the servants. I managed to keep my distance and take down this beast with relative ease. I decided to farm the Eye of Cthulhu for more treasure bags in hopes of getting a good modifier for the Shield of Cthulhu and more money. The time has come to fight King Slime for no real reason besides the slimy saddle, a mount with accelerated fall speed. It might not be that useful now, but in future fights, like the one against the Plaguebringer Goliath, it can prove to be a necessity, helping avoid all damage by reaching the ground as soon as possible to regain wing flight. The only real downside is it bounces really high if it hits something on the way down, which can be really unpredictable and throw you off, which usually means death in a challenge like this. So I have to plan my paths carefully when using the slimy saddle. On my way to the corruption, I spotted a buried pyramid in the corner of my eye. Taking a look inside, we find the best bottle item, the sandstorm in a bottle, which will improve our mobility. Additionally, the pyramid has also another way down into the caves which we can explore later when we need to. After taking a nice summer holiday at the desert, it was time to prepare for the Eater of Worlds fight. Showing the worm food, the Eater of Worlds grabs the scent and begins to attack me. I swiftly retaliate by getting some clean swings at its body. The main strategy with the Eater of Worlds is to usually target the head to prevent the worm from splitting into more, but I disregarded this as our mobility was more than enough to deal with the exponentially growing number of worms. Raining stars with my Star Fury, eventually the worm is struck down. Extracting its scales, I'm able to make a nightmare pickaxe and a new set of gear. I spot that a meteor has crashed in my world. I hope my dinosaur isn't getting any PTSD from this. This next part, I'll let you experience yourself in its full auditory glory. It is time to rid my world of the ultimate evil of the corruption, the Hive Mind. The Hive Mind likes to keep its distance, so melee will be quite difficult. So I switched to a mage build using the meteor set and a space gun to fight. The fight is long but easy as the space gun shreds through any minions the Hive Mind sends to do its bidding. In the end, the Hive Mind falls and blesses my world with some new shinies. Before I could get my hands on some new gear, it began to rain with a toxic downpour. I headed to the Sulphurous Sea to deal with its denizen infestation. Diving deeper, I decided to grab some new equipment while I'm at it. Specifically, the Rusty Beacon prototype, a sentry that pulses a toxic wave that damages and poisons enemies. Seeing a weak and puny crocodile, I lunge at it to unleash a flurry of attacks, but quickly reminded me the limitations of my HP. After an embarrassing death, it was time to get back on task. I returned to the caves to scavenge a new material, Aerialite. With this, I can craft a new set of armor and weapons alongside upgrading my wings to something much better. Out of nowhere, a blood moon decided to show up, so I took this opportunity to go fishing. I'm trying to go for the poor man's Daedalus Stormbow, the Blood Rainbow, which may prove useful against my next target. Feeling like I need more preparation, I paid the underworld a visit to steal a Hellforge and some Hellstone to fully kit out our melee collection. With no more time to waste, I hurried to the dungeon before the night set to prepare an arena for Skeletron. After wishing the old man my goodbyes, I challenged his curse. Unleashing a barrage of feathers with my new gear, Skeletron was no match, and quickly fell with little difficulty, freeing the old man from his curse and allowing me to raid his dungeon. The dungeon is a dangerous place, so I take extra care when traversing it, clearing any spike pits that may slow me down. What I'm looking for is the Shadow Key to be able to loot the Abyss and the Underworld chests, Cobalt Shield so I don't get comboed, and the Muramasa, not the Murasama. Can't get that yet. Earlier, I had encountered a mysterious siren calling out to me, which quickly turned out to be Anita, which is a hard mode boss. But it was not uneventful as she gifted me the Aquatic Heart, allowing me to breathe underwater and withstand the immense pressure from the depths of the Abyss. Ravaging through the structures of the Abyss, I found much useful gear like the Archerfish Rifle, which can prove useful against the hard mode enemies with its high pierce, knockback, and fire rate. The time had come to fight Slime God. Hopeful with my new arsenal, I head straight into battle, and I quickly get demolished time after time. This was a time I had considered turning down the difficulty as I was making little progress, but determined, I came up with a new strategy. I swapped out the fungal symbiote for the rover drive, an accessory that grants shields worth 50 HP and 10 defense on a 30-second cooldown if destroyed. Switching back to melee, I used the Oath Blade, which perfectly dealt with the slimes as they split later on. With a combination of a revised strategy, weapons, and accessories, I emerged victorious as the slime god cowardly fled the battlefield. He did not leave without parting gifts however, as he dropped materials for yet another gear upgrade. With the Purified Gel, I forged Night Edge's little cousin, the Bloody Edge, which sacrifices some damage for a healing effect. Arming up, I headed to the underworld preparing a runway to battle the Guardian of the Light and Dark, the Wall of Flesh. After falling short on many occasions, I began to learn and play around the Wall of Flesh's attacks. In the end, in a close battle, I struck down the Guardian, unleashing the spirits of light and dark into my world, bringing along a new adventure and challenge. But that's for another time, hopefully soon. I hope you enjoyed the first part of a 3-part series, which will be Hard Mode and Post Moonlord. This video took many sleepless nights to make, and I hope you enjoyed it. Comment down what you would have done differently, I'd love to hear from you guys. It's been a while since I last uploaded because my computer broke down and it took a while to get enough money to buy a new one. But hey, here I am now, bursting with video ideas. I've got some for Valorant, Terraria and Bloons, so do let me know if you would actually watch them. 200 likes and I'll release part 2. Subscribe and turn on notifications to know exactly when it comes out alongside future videos. Don't worry about your sub box being spammed. I don't upload often as I try to put in the most effort I can to create good videos for you guys. And that takes time, the more the reason to subscribe I guess. And that concludes the first episode. The second will hopefully be done soon, and thanks again for watching. Until next time.